All right, here we go. Okay, so I would love to officially welcome you to supercharge your sacral chakra, feel sexier, more creative, and radiantly alive. And I want to acknowledge all of you for being the kind of women who are really interested in taking the reins of your life in purpose, in passion, in inspired action. And I know that just by being here, it means that you are committed to truly showing up for yourself in an authentic way. I'm just going to take a quick moment to introduce myself to those of you who might be new to me. I'm Vanessa Nixon, and as a traditional naturopath, a CEO of a natural cosmetics company, Natural Look Mineral Makeup, and a professional belly dance instructor, I am really passionate about helping empower women to truly thrive during the spiritual initiation of their menopausal journey, using nature as their guide, so they can make this the most vibrant and impactful phase of their lives through natural health, natural movement, and natural beauty. And I'm so delighted to have Meloney Hudson here with us today. Meloney is an advocate of women's empowerment, an author, a teacher of the energetic arts, and a documentary producer. She believes self-love is the first step to a more joyful and better world. She is a certified Ipsalu, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, Tantra teacher, and the creator of Venus Rising Yoni Yoga. She has been creating and facilitating transformative workshops for women for 20 years and infuses her classes with practices from Tantra, Taoism, and women's spirituality. Meloney is the author of Sexy, Spirited, and Strong, Becoming a Positive Energy Woman, and the Venus Rising Yoni Yoga Guidebook. She's also the producer of Rise of Venus, which is a documentary, as well as other documentary projects. And to learn more about Meloney and her offerings, you can do that at her website, which is positiveenergywoman.com. And I will be putting the link to that in the chat box and the comments in Facebook in just a minute. But right now, I would love to welcome you, Meloney, to our gathering here today. I'm so excited for you to be here.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. I am thrilled to be here and honored to be here because I really, really respect and appreciate the work that you're doing in the world to help women, to help us become healthy, empowered, living our best lives. And so I appreciate this opportunity to share my work with your community. And so thank you, thank you. And I'm so grateful for all the women that are here today. Thank you. Well, first of all, as you know, we're going to be talking about sexual energy. And what I'd like you to do is to go back in time and think about a time when you were very, very juicy, you were young, you were desirous of a partner, maybe you were really driven by your sexual energy, you were looking for that excitement in a sexual connection. And you may have dressed up with push-up bras, and you may have worn high heels and did everything that we thought would be make us look sexy and juicy. And how we felt during that time, how alive, how maybe even a little emotionally crazy we were because our sexual energy was driving us so much. So that is indeed sexual energy that we had when we were youthful. At least many women typically have that kind of energy. And so now we're at a stage in our lives where that might be a memory, and we would possibly want to get a little bit of that back and maintain what we have, possibly make it even a greater part of our lives. So that, so indeed, sexual energy, as we think of it, is a drive. It is the biological drive that causes us to want to mate and procreate. That's why we have that drive. But for me and for many other traditions and energetic paths, sexual energy is so much more. So let's talk about what being sexy is really all about. So we think about the push-up bras, we think about wanting and lusting, being passionate, and that is all a part of sexual energy. But sexual energy is also, and being sexy is also about self-love. It's about confidence. It's about health. It's about a radiant glow. It's about being sovereign and owning our body and having respect for ourselves. It's also about being creative. So that is the type of sexual energy that we're going to talk about today. And by the way, I will share with you all kinds of information and techniques that will help us to get in touch with their sexual energy, which does reside in our sacral chakra, which is located in our reproductive organs. And I'll talk more about that in a minute. And also and to give you takeaways so that you can practice techniques and ways of life that will help you feel juicier, to help you feel those good things about being sexy, to help you maybe increase your desire, your passion, increase those feelings of vitality and aliveness and creativity. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. So first of all, let's talk about how sexual energy is perceived. As I mentioned, in our Western world, we typically think of sexual energy as strictly that primal drive of wanting to have sex. It's about looking sexy, being sexy, having sex, having foreplay, having great sex, positions, and then the afterglow. But sexual energy, that's the Western way of thinking, which is tends to be a little basic and very superficial. There are other energetic and spiritual paths that go into much greater depth. For example, Tantra. Tantra is an Eastern path. It's a spiritual path that is an amalgam of Hindu and Buddhist traditions. And they do respect and honor sexual energy, but not in the way that we think of it. They don't look at it as the drive. The sexual energy in tantric traditions is considered the most powerful energy in our body, and it's a purification. So the energy in tantric practices will unblock our energy channels in our body so that we can become a clear conduit for spiritual energy, so that we can become enlightened. And so some of the practices envision a union, the sexual union between Shiva and Shakti, but contrary to popular belief about Tantra, it is not necessarily about sex. In fact, in the traditional schools, sexual ritual was only for very rare initiates. Then we have the Taoists. Now, Taoism is another spiritual path, and it's an energetic path. The Taoists believe that everything is God. We are all is Tao. So we have God's, the divine energy within us. And the Taoist practices help us to merge with the divine. And so they accept the divine energy as chi, and that chi helps us to not only connect with the divine, but also helps us to become a more potent and powerful human being through longevity and vitality. So you might hear about Qigong, you might hear about Tai Chi. Those are practices in which energy is utilized for health and vitality. And then there are some practices that specifically tap into sexual energy that's used to help us become, especially women, to become more, to raise the sexual energy in our bodies to help us become healthier and more vital and alive. Then we have the divine feminine traditions. that look, and we're talking about women's spirituality, and they look at sexual energy, or I should say we look at it as our power. Our sexual energy is our femininity. It is our feminine essence. It is it's our place in life. It is our identity. And it is what we can tap into to be our most empowered. In the divine feminine traditions, feminine sexual energy is also considered a fertility. It is part of a fertility association. With women, we have, the goddesses had domain over the fertility of the land. We have fertility that brings forth life, not only the life of progeny and children, also the life of projects and things and creations. You know, women were the ones who invented weaving. They invented cultivation. They invented pottery making. So this creative fertility energy went into creations of all kinds. So that's overall what sexual energy is. And that's what you have in you. You have this potent force that can help you become more spiritual, become more healthy, to become more empowered, to help you be more creative and alive. So sexual energy is also something that we can tap into, which a lot of women today would love to know, is that sexual energy is the ticket to beauty. So many women are trying so hard to, you know, create this glow, which we all buy beauty products. We all need our beauty products. And I mean, I have beauty products too. I got a lot of them. But really, sexual energy is our true, beautiful beauty glow. In fact, when you think about what it does and what these exercises do, when we take this energy, which is actually life force energy. You know, the Taoists call it chi, the tantrics call it life force, and the women's spirituality call it feminine energy. When we take this energy and we process it and we harness it and we use it to infuse all of the cells in our bodies with this elixir of creativity and goodness and divinity, it will show up. It'll manifest in the way we look. So we will often, after having a zesty session with a beloved, you'll emerge with a glow, and you go into the bathroom and you look in the mirror, you're like, oh my God, I feel so beautiful. I look so beautiful. It's because you are beautiful. It's because you've got that essence, that essence is streaming through you, that life force is streaming through you. It's having an effect on all of the cells in your body, and it's having an effect on your aura and the way you radiate out into the world. And not only is this visual, not only do people see a glow, a sparkle, a clarity in your skin, an aliveness in your body, they'll also feel it. You know, there's sexual energy is very palpable. In fact, if you have a session, let's say we'll go back to that zesty session we had, and then you go to the grocery store and you just go in the produce department, you may look around and see somebody checking you out because they feel something. They feel something's going on. They notice the glow, they notice that something, and they're feeling it. And in fact, you may have noticed too, back in the day, or even now, currently, when you have a beloved or an opportunity to be with someone, suddenly it seems like other people appear. That's because you become more attractive. You're waking that thing up inside of you that becomes so attractive and sexy and beautiful. So that's something to just keep in mind with all of this beautiful sexual energy. The other thing about sexual energy that's good to keep in mind is that it is the source of our emotions. And when we're younger and we're filled with this energy that's just coursing through our bodies, and we have urges and desire, we're often the most emotional of our times too. I know when I was younger, I was a little insane. And I think a lot of it had to do with that drive that I did not have under control. So having a balance of energy is also very, very important. This, by the way, this information is good for young women as much as it is for more mature women, because young women, they have a lot of energy and they may need to learn how to balance it, to regulate it so that they're in balance, so that they're not completely driven into insanity with this urgency, and so that they don't make bad decisions. I'm sure a few of us we've met people who feel like they've made rash decisions about their sexuality because they were driven. So having a balance of energy is really good, and that also happens with our emotions. And when our sexual energy is out of balance, especially if it's too high, we can tend to get highly emotional, or when the energy is too low, we tend to be a little more complacent, which that's not good either. It's a little bit more comfortable maybe, but being alive is the best way to be, being in balance. So as we get older, as we lose our as our sexual energy starts to diminish, we start to feel that loss of urgency, that loss of that dullness, and we start to feel, like I said, complacent and a little less energetic. And what we can do is we can attend to our energy. And first of all, we're going to start doing a couple of little practices, but I want to tell you where we're going to be focusing. Our sexual energy is located, as you can probably all know, in our reproductive area, our reproductive organs. Per the tantric traditions, it's either in the cervix or it's in the vagina. And per the Taoists, in a woman, it's in the ovaries. And then in the divine feminine, it's just in our yoni, which is everything: the vulva, the vagina, the uterus. And no matter what, whether we've had a hysterectomy or not, we still have a sacral chakra. The sacral chakra is the source of sexual energy. And also, our other glands and organs also produce sexual energy. The kidneys produce sexual energy, as do the adrenals. So no matter what our status of life, no matter what our level of health, whether we're totally with all of our organs, or we have had a hysterectomy or whatever, we still have the capability of generating sexual energy because we have sexual energy. Sexual energy is called life force energy, and that is because it gives us life to our entire body. If we didn't have this life force energy, we will perish, we will die. And so just by virtue of the fact that we're alive, we're breathing, we're moving, we have life force, and we have all the capability of being able to generate it and regenerate it. Let's see, what else do I have before we dive into?
Melanie, I just wanted to, before we dive into some of these practices, which I'm really excited to experience and explore, I just wanted to take a moment to see if anybody had any questions about what you have covered so far. Feel free to put those in the chat box at any point. We will have some Q&A time later, but if there are things coming up for you, feel free to put those in the chat. And if you're watching live on Facebook, put your questions in the comments underneath the video. And as well, if you're watching the replay later, we will go back. Melanie and I will both go back and check and see if any questions have come in. So please don't hold back. And who is ready and excited to learn some of these practices that Meloney has for us? Go ahead and type that in the chat box, or nod your head, or do a thumbs up if you're ready. I see some nodding. All right, wonderful. Okay, what is our first practice, Meloney?
Great. Okay. Well, the first practice is just, it's very simple. It's very simple. It's a visualization of bringing our attention to our yoni, and then just saying, ooh, and feeling the vibration of the ooh all the way down in your yoni. So let's do that. It's super simple and effective. So just get nice and relaxed and bring your attention down to it can be your vulva, it can be your vagina, it can just be in your whole pelvic area. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever feels good. And just noticing any kinds of sensations in your hips and your buttocks as you sit on your chair. And then just seeing if you can bring your attention, noticing the area of your vulva and your vagina. And now just simply say, ooh, ooh, ooh. Ooh is the seed sound that activates the sacral chakra. Ooh. It's the sound that we often say when we're making passionate love with our partner. Ooh. 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 I'm going to share screen and turn on a little music because we're going to move into a couple of other little movements. Can you hear the music?
We can hear it.
Okay. All right. So now as you're sitting here, thinking of your yoni, start to rub your breasts by bringing your fingertips around the top, down the side, up the bottom, and up through the sternum. And just feeling your fingertips on your breasts as your fingers circulate, right? Going around the breasts. Letting your fingers touch lightly. That may stimulate sexual energy and kidney energy. And kidney, as we know, it also contributes to your sexual energy. And as you rub your breasts, go ahead and allow your body to move and sway. The feminine energy is active. Feminine energy is the active energy. And so it's natural for women to move around. And you may notice that when you're in making love, your body automatically goes into motion, where your hips start thrusting back and forth. It's like a natural reflex. So as we're moving our hips and touching our breasts, let's continue saying, ooh, ooh, ooh. Yes. And now start to rub other parts of your body as you continue to move. Feeling that touch on your body. For example, your arm, stroking it so that you feel the pleasure of your stroke. You can continue to say ooh if you'd like, to actually continue to stimulate the chakra. Ooh. Ooh. And allow yourself to enjoy this. Touch is so much a part of sensuality, and sensuality helps to stimulate sexual energy. Ooh. Ooh. And touching your face. Touching your face. Your face has nerve endings that travel. There are 72,000 nadis, energy channels, that carry this energy through our bodies. And another thing that we can do is we can thrust our hips. And if you feel like standing up, I will show you how to do that. If not, you can do it right in your chair. The hip motion is really excellent for stimulating sacral chakra energy by thrusting and tilting your hips. And then moving your hips around, moving your hips in a big circle. Charging up that energy. Really feeling the stretch and the appreciation of your hips and your belly. And Vanessa, by the way, teaches belly dancing. And I'm sure that this does a lot to stimulate sexual energy in her classes. So, Vanessa, what are you doing? It looks like a beautiful thrusting.
I'm doing some juicier, and I'm doing some hip circles and some pelvic tilts. And yes, this is very, very similar to what we do and some of the moves we learn through traditional belly dance.
Beautiful. Thank you. This is all so important, charging up sexual energy. And actually all of this hip area, it's critical. It's very essential that we keep this area loose and limber, because this is our ticket to youth. This is our ticket to our sexual energy. Our sacrum acts as a pump that actually helps to pump up that second chakra. So it's very important that you do this. I do this every day. Excellent. So let's go ahead and sit down. And we're going to do a little bit of visualization now of some energy in our yoni. So do you feel a little more alive? Yes, yes, yes. So now let's go ahead and bring our attention once again, settle into our seats. Once again, bring your attention down to your yoni area. This time you're going to bring your attention to your vulva, and you're going to squeeze and release the muscles at the opening of your vagina. So go ahead and you'll squeeze them pretty quickly, like once a second. So it's like you're pulsing, pulse, 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 pulse. So pulse So contract and release the muscles. So it's almost like when you're urinating and you want to stop and start the flow of your urine. So pulse, like once a second, pulse, 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 pulse. And just keep pulsing, just engaging the muscles, feeling the glory of you, knowing that you have control over your muscles. Pulsing. You can do this all day long. This simple little pulse, and it's only the outside of your vagina. And you might, if you are really adept, you might even engage the muscles of your clitoris and your vulva, because there are a whole lot of muscles outside of your labia and clitoris. So just feeling the pulses. And then imagine as you're pulsing and pulsing that you're actually pumping up this misty orange energy in your yoni. It's misty and pink and orangey, and it's shimmery and delightful. Now this little misty energy is becoming a ball, a fun little misty ball. And inhale through your nose, and imagine as you're inhaling, you're taking that misty ball of energy up through your spine and you're bringing it up to your third eye. And now hold your breath, squeeze your yoni muscle. And as you hold your breath, we're going to squeeze and release your yoni muscles 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you're going to exhale through your mouth. Again, bringing your attention to that misty orange energy in your yoni. Inhale through your nose, draw that energy up from your yoni, up through your spine to your third eye. Hold your breath, squeeze your yoni muscles. While holding your breath, squeeze and release 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth and feel that energy just infuse your body. Again, inhale, drawing up that misty orange, sparkly energy through this time your entire torso up to your face. Hold your breath, squeeze and release 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth. Feeling that energy infuse all of your cells. Once again, coming back down in your attention to your yoni, misty, beautiful, pink, shimmery energy, inhaling it up through your nose, through the entire body. Now it's in all of your limbs. It's in your fingers, your toes, your everything, holding your breath, squeezing, release 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale through the mouth. Feeling it start to radiate through your skin. Last time, inhaling, drawing up that energy, filling your entire, the whole capacity, every centimeter of your body, holding your breath 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, and now the energy is actually radiating outside of your skin. And just sitting in that for a moment, noticing any sensations, noticing any kinds of changes in the way you feel. And now just bringing your left hand to your heart, and then covering your yoni with your right hand. Just tapping into your essence, the essence of you, your feminine self. This powerful beacon of radiant, healing energy for the planet. feeling gratitude for your yoni and for all that she has done to help you get to where you are today in this world. She has helped you become you, and your sexual energy has really helped to form who you are today. And you are a divine, incredible, wise woman, because sexual energy definitely is a part of our wisdom. And letting your yoni energy, your sexy, feminine energy, travel up your arm to your heart, letting your two energies mingle, your love for yourself, love for the planet, love for your sisters, your family. Mingle with the power of your sexuality. Because this is who you are, and this is who we are as beings on the planet today. These two essences of who we are actually going to help save the world. Just appreciating ourselves for just another moment. Just take a deep inhale. Exhale with an ah, ah. And gently open your eyes and remove your hands from your heart and your yoni. Whenever you feel like you're ready. So that is a practice that we can do every day that helps us to be in touch with the dynamic energies of who we are, and to help us get in touch with our sexual energy, utilize it for healing, spiritual connection, self-love, energy, and for inspiration. I count on it to help inspire me. And there's more, but if there's anybody that has a comment or anything, I would love to hear what you have to say at this moment.
That was absolutely beautiful. I loved both of those practices, and I would love to invite anybody who would like to share in the chat box. I see that Erin said that was beautiful. I feel so alive. Jessica says beautiful and relaxing. Thank you so very much. I definitely feel so much more energized than I was before. I could feel the energy moving through my body. That was beautiful. I'm going to check over on Facebook to see if there's any comments coming in. Catherine was asking about the music, if we could have the name of the music you were playing.
Sure.
Such lovely, beautiful music.
Yep, I will write it in the chat.
Wonderful, thank you. Is anybody else comfortable sharing what they experienced during those practices? We would love to hear. Jessica says empowering.
Good.
Yes.
Yay.
Absolutely.
Well,
we also have Isabel joining us on the live stream as well.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Okay. All right. So, Diamond and the Lotus by Shastra.
Shastra, yes.
Shastra. Wonderful.
And I use music in all of my work. We're sensual beings, and as I was mentioning in our practice, sensuality is so key. We don't think of we think of sensuality as something that's on the side. Okay, well, I don't have time to be sensual. But really, it's part of life that we must have in order to feel fulfilled and to help us feel like we want to be alive, that we want to, that we want to even be here. That's why we are human. That's one of the greatest things about being human is our sexuality. I mean, our sensuality. And this is just the matter of the senses, waking up our hearing, waking up the way we touch, waking up the way we taste. We're very into our taste and our sight and our hearing, but there's so many other things. Scent is huge. And by the way, there are wonderful essential oils that can help stimulate sexual energy, and they are like patchouli. Patchouli helps. Rose oil, ylang ylang. That's a very sexy essential oil. And one other note that I want to be sure to deliver is that along with sensuality, self-pleasure is very important, especially for women in our group as we continue to grow. We tend to leave that alone. And it's like, if you don't use it, you lose it. And a lot of us, when we don't have partners for a long time, we tend to not think about it. You do lose it. You lose that memory of what it's like to be sexual. And keeping this part of our body alive, keeping our sexuality and our sexual energy alive, keeping the functions of our vaginas and our vulvas alive. It's really key, not just for pleasure and not just for sex, but for our youth and vitality. So I think my recommendation is that you practice self-pleasure at least once a week. And you don't have to have an orgasm, but definitely get to a point where you're enjoying it. And you can use coconut oil and do vulva massage. You may use a vibrator if you want. You don't have to insert anything if you don't want to, but I do recommend that you do, because again, if you don't use this space, it will lose flexibility. And I'm sure Vanessa, as a midwife, as well, basically a midwife for midlife women, you have a lot to say about the yoni and keeping it juicy.
Absolutely, and I totally agree with everything that you're saying. And it reminds me of an herbal workshop that I took from Susan Weed, who is an herbalist that's quite well known in the herbal community. And her workshop was Sex Over 60. And one of the first things that she said that she always recommends for women who want to remain juicy and have nice plump tissues and a good strong libido is to aim for 7 orgasms a week. And she said you can do them solo, you can do them with a partner, you can do all 7 on one day, you can do 1 every day, it doesn't matter. But however you want to schedule it, just make sure you have about 7 a week.
That is incredible. I hadn't heard that number. That's
and she
great.
said the same thing, use it or lose it. You have it, and it's part of your health as a woman to be responsible to your yoni, to do whatever it is that you can to keep all parts of your body healthy. And so I was like, well, I think that's pretty good advice. And just
Yes.
and isn't 7 a lucky number? Yes.
Thank you, Erin.
Yes, Erin says I have to leave early. Thank you so much for this. You are welcome. Thank you for joining us, Erin. Yes, and I want to say one other thing, actually a couple of other just really quick tips as an herbalist myself, and as somebody who works very closely with women at any stage of the menopausal journey. This is one of the issues that often comes up. Low libido or thinning vaginal tissues, discomfort, dryness. And so yes, the use it or lose it is part. of the program there, but also there are lots of things you can do nutritionally as well as herbally to just help yourself to feel more plump and juicy. And two of the herbs are oat straw or milky oats. It's a different part of the oat plant, or even just eating oatmeal. There's a reason that there's this saying about sowing your wild oats. It's because the oat plant actually helps your reproductive system to stay healthy and juicy, and helps keep that vital energy charged up. So using that as a tea, the oat straw or the milky oats, as well as eating oats can really go far, can be very beneficial for that. And stinging nettles is another one that just really helps to nourish your endocrine system and all of your glands and organs and hormones, so that it can help keep everything in balance, and just nourish those body parts that your body needs in order to keep itself juicy.
That's fantastic. And you mentioned one other in one of your presentations, that comfrey salve is good
Yes,
for
comfrey topically. Comfrey actually can regenerate the cells of your tissues. And so using a comfrey oil or a comfrey salve or a comfrey lotion topically can really help to rebuild healthy tissues that may have started to degenerate a little bit.
I love that. I've been looking for the comfrey salve. It's not something that you can find in Whole Foods or anything like that, I've noticed. I think you have to order it specially. Or would you get it from a
there definitely are herbalists who make comfrey salves and oils. There is a controversy over comfrey, whether it's safe to use internally or not. But externally, it is completely safe to use. And Di is saying, what do you do with the salve exactly? So you can put it on any parts of your yoni. You can put it on your vulva. You can, whether it's a salve or an oil, you can use it as a lube. But yeah, it's safe for use on any part of your vagina or vulva. And it really gives the tissues of the skin what it needs to create healthy cells, healthy skin cells.
That's good to know. That's really good to know. I know that a lot of times when women are using vibrators or dildos, when they insert them, they're using these what do you call them, gels and that type of thing that are made out of artificial ingredients, things that aren't good. And I think the natural ingredients are so much better. And coconut oil, but the comfrey, that sounds really wonderful. Aloe. Aloe is a really, really wonderful one to use internally to help keep moist. And then also coconut butter. There are these wonderful little coconut butter, cocoa butter, not coconut butter, cocoa butter cubes that are created for the to help the tissue of the vagina, to help it stay moist and supple. And that's a very good one. There's a brand called Bezwecken, and they have really wonderful suppositories that you can use to help keep that area nice and lubed up.
The wonderful thing about cocoa butter is that it's solid at room temperature, so it's not very messy, but it melts at skin temperature. So that's why that makes a great suppository, because it's fairly solid, and then when you insert it, and the warmth of your body allows it to melt.
It's wonderful. Well, I tell you, you have so many secrets, and definitely, if you have ladies, if you don't already know, Vanessa is definitely a wonderful resource for your health of your yoni health and overall health. And plug yourself, Vanessa.
Oh,
Take it away.
well, thank you so much, Melanie. But today is all about you. So I want to make sure you plug yourself. And before we give out what I know that you have a free gift for us. And so before we go into talking about that, I just want to ask again, are there any other questions? I see Jessica's asking, is aloe gel okay to go inside of you?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very, very safe one, as is coconut butter. Yeah.
Yep. Yes. And so any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat or the comment link. And Melanie, I would love to hear more about your free gift that you have for us.
Great, thank you. Okay, well, I have a wonderful little ebook. It's called 3 Practices for your to nurture your empowerment, your feminine empowerment. And it actually, all of my work stems from tantric, Taoist, and divine feminine practices, and it's all about energy. Everything is about energy. My book, Positive Energy Woman, is all about how to utilize our energy so that we can create a healthier life and a better life. And so this little ebook, it's just one facet. It helps you to get over some of our conditioning as we grew up from this patriarchal culture that has diminished our love of our sexuality, our spirituality, and our inner strength, and to just simple little practices that will help you reconnect with that, and hopefully help you feel more empowered and self-loving. So just go to my website, positiveenergywoman.com, and you can download it for free. And then there are other things. There are videos on the site. There's some goodies on there that you can enjoy. And I hope you enjoy it. I hope you go in and take a look around and enjoy.
Oh, thank you. That sounds amazing. And I can't wait to do those exercises. It was such an amazing free gift that you are offering, very generous. So thank you so much. And I'm wondering if you have any final words or wisdom for us before we sign off.
Well, just the only thing is to know that this planet is insane. It's really a tough time right now in the world. We're seeing it in the news. We've been living it for 2 years. And women are really going to be the savior of our planet. Exactly, Jessica. Our energy is going to uplift the energy, the collective. And so the women here in this group, you all are on a mission. You're here, you're lifting up, you're already helping to lift up this planet. And it's just important that we do that as much as we can with ourselves, and that we encourage other women to lift up, and even men. We need to have men acknowledge the feminine energy within them so that they can love and care and put their energy into the world to bring balance to the aggression that's happening. So we're just role models, and it's important that we stay in a good place. And I know it's hard, believe me, even Miss Positive Energy Woman, goes into a funky place every now and then. It's just natural, and we have to. And just know that we have the tools, and we are the privileged ones on the planet right now. We are the most blessed right here and right now, and that we have so much to be grateful for, and that gratitude will go out and emanate and help raise the world. So keep up your beautiful energy.
Well, thank you, Melanie. You are absolutely the epitome of the positive energy woman. And I appreciate your wisdom, as I know the other women here do. And I just want to say before we go, if you enjoyed this, I'm going to be hosting more guest speakers here in the Facebook group. You can feel marvelous in midlife naturally. So if you are not part of that group already, I will go ahead and put the link to that in the chat box. And also feel free to let me know what topics that you would like me to address And please invite other women, sisters, friends to join so they can also be inspired by amazing women like Meloney. And so here is that link. And once again, Meloney, thank you so much. It has been really inspiring and energizing. And I'm just so thrilled to have spent this last hour with you. And thank you so much to everybody who joined us. And feel free to put any other questions you have in the chat box. We'll stay a couple extra minutes if anybody has questions. I will go ahead and stop the recording now. So if you have any, questions that you don't want to ask on the recording, that's fine.
I have to go.